Liar! Liar! Liar!
Get back, witch!
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. But after what you just said, I'm not even sure I want to be that anymore.
You never had it so good.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints?
Oh.
I can get you one.
You've had a whole half already!
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints?
Oh.
I can get you one.
You've had a whole half already!
Here I was bragging about, hey, all my stuff is working. Can't even remember to unmute a microphone. Let's see. Make sure we're actually, okay, yeah, we're unmuted in OBS too. You know, it wouldn't be a stream if something like goofy like that didn't happen. So I am gonna change one thing real quick. I was testing out a there we go. I was testing out a new closed captioning thing with Nerd before the stream last week for the podcast because you know, we're trying to figure out how to make the podcast a little more accessible for people watching on Twitch, and so putting in closed captioning. And I was testing out an extension that I found that actually, instead of most closed captioning stuff for Twitch goes strictly based on what is through the microphone. Well, I found a separate one that actually bases it off the audio channel that you're using. So if you have your microphone set to like channel 2 or whatever, excuse me, so that both of us got the closed captioning, not just on his end. So that was pretty cool. So I just need to connect with him at some point so we can figure out how to get that going. But we'll do that later. But we figured it out at least, so it's good to know. How was everybody's week? Kim, how you doing this morning? How you feeling? Wim, I've been with you for the last couple of hours. I know how you're feeling. I know how you're doing, but always nice to have you in here. And we'll go ahead and get started. So first, my character is still not right. I don't know if it's something I need to do, if I need to put in a ticket with Singularity, but not that it's that big of a deal. Like, I'm not so stressed out about my character's gender that I'm like, oh my god, I can't, the game is literally unplayable, because most of the characters that I play in Fortnite are females. Like, that's not a problem. It's just, it's not right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's more that it's an issue. Like, you guys made changes and busted my character up because this is, yeah. No. I mean, I'm gonna leave it for now because, like I said, it's not a huge deal. Figure out what this is telling me I need to do. Probably just. Oh, okay, I can't go to Jets to do that. Okay, I thought it was like you were what you were. So okay, well then I might run and do that real quick before I get too far. Like I said, I logged in for a couple minutes earlier this week to pick up the quest, and I had kind of started dabbling, but then I was like, wait, let's wait and do this on stream. I did pick up the Xbox tool skins, so I definitely am going to start using those at some point. And I think it may be something like it's something with the appearance system in general, because I believe that I had selected those tool skins, and those I don't think are saving either. Look. Inventory, first of all. Ooh, gifts. We like gifts. Yes, I called about your car's extended warranty. Welcome in, Jenna.
What's
Hope you're having
that?
a wonderful start
This,
to
my
your
friend,
weekend.
is a pint. It comes in pints. I can get you one.
You've had a whole half already!
And I'm still getting big lag spikes and stuff. I don't know if everybody else is experiencing the same problem. Is like yeah, that's super weird. I know they're still working on it. Like it's a big game. I'm not going to complain. But it's a little frustrating, but we'll live.
Wonderful to see
Okay, about every 10 seconds there's a 1 second lag, yeah. So, yeah, we got out, we did our coffee thing. Well, lemonade in my case. This is what is this called again? It's not something that I usually order. I mean, the lemonade is what I usually order, but I don't remember. It's like a mochi berry blended lemonade. With a soft top from Dutch Bros. Yeah, mochi berry blended lemonade. So I went out and did that, still working my way through it. It's pretty good. Their lemonade is
you're still here.
super tart today. At least I feel like it is. But went out, did the grocery shopping. Reth is moonwalking. Reth is Billie Jean, your lover.
Bad rap.
So did the coffee, did the grocery shopping. Decided to go to Costco today, but I got a Tupperware pitcher about to serve the best 90s lemonade. Hell yes. All the best drinks come out of those Tupperware pitchers.
Man, I need to catch a quick nap.
You never know what's going to be in there, though. Okay, Tish is also moonwalking.
Hey, cutie. Oh.
Just so worked up today. Okay, Tish. Reth promised he'd be home for dinner last night, and then he just bailed. Can you believe that? I'm sure he's just busy. He's always busy. At least you make time for me. Oh, my.
Next time, stay longer.
Yeah, those Tupperware pitchers were always fun, though, because is it Kool-Aid? Is it lemonade? Is it iced tea? You never know until you actually pour it, and then you're stuck with whatever it is. But it was usually pretty good stuff, so you can't complain too much. All right, close. There's not a different spot there. But yeah, Costco on a Saturday morning is definitely a choice. But if that's the only time that you have available to go, that's when you gotta go. Yeah. Not gonna buy any packs. You said gels. Gels to fix the gender face. Okay. Ah. That would be why. Skin tone was... Ooh. I'm at least a little more tan than that. Eyes are definitely blue. Haircut was... And I wonder if it was just a thing that they like reset or whatever. I think that was the haircut that I had. Probably chocolate, and I had eyebrows. There should be 2 of them. That's probably good. Okay. Then we will come in here. We'll check out face accessories. Ooh. So I feel like these are 2. Oh no, if you get the right angle, they're fine. So we'll go with those. Not wearing a hat. And then I like the prospector set. And turn off the belt tools. And then color 3. Let's see. Light. Okay. That light. Well, if the tools are off, then it doesn't really matter what color, or if the light is on or off. Yeah, we'll find the prospector pants. Also color 3. See, now, I would think that the cloth part of the pants up here would match the shirt color up here, but that's just me. Last thing, I want to check my tool skins. Okay. Yeah, so it is still the Volt. I definitely would like to get, probably work with somebody to see if I can get them to sign in on my account on a PlayStation so that I can get the Astro set as well, because this set is the PlayStation exclusive set. I have an Xbox, so I was able to get that set, and I like that set. And I don't mind the Astro set. I don't know how often I would actually use it, but it's one of those things that if you give me a thing to collect, I'm going to try and collect the thing. And I know we have friends that have Xboxes or PlayStations. I would consider getting a PlayStation, but the Switch 2 is about to come out, and that's a little more important. And then I did... You can still get a login reward for your glider. I don't know where to change what the glider looks like, though. Not map. I've been playing too many games. It is the wardrobe. My keybinds in my head are all screwed up because base keybinds in Fortnite are very similar. Base keybinds in Disney Dreamlight Valley are very similar. Like, I'm all over the place. Watch is dinging at me. Look at that glider. So the mushroom glider is still available for linking your Switch account. Yeah, if you link your Switch account, you can still get the mushroom glider. I probably won't ever use it, but it's kind of cool to have. You've got the white base for the mushroom and then the red top. This one I picked up from the premium shop, and then this is the Xbox one. It's kind of cool. I like that one. Okay. The lighting in here is kind of goofy too. One of those things that they will probably push out probably another mini update on like Monday. Their usual update day. To try and help some of the issues with like just the periodic lag and stuff like that. So in the meantime though, we can actually progress on our quest to get into the Elderwood. Like I said, I popped in earlier this week. I checked out, you know, the actual Elderwood for about 5 minutes last night. Offline, just I didn't actually do anything, but was just kind of roaming. But I was completely lost. So I was like, all right, let me go back, let me explore, like, do the quests so that I actually have, like, specific places that I need to go check out. We'll go from there. You're sure there's no one else here, Sir Watcher? No one lurking in the shadows? If there is, I will take care of them. Ooh, Hecla's ready to go. Ready to start a fight. That won't be necessary. I've scanned the entire area. As long as they are of this plane, they cannot hide from the Order. I suppose that's comforting, unless they are an extra-dimensional being. Eloisa lent me some articles about those. Ah, we were waiting for your arrival. If you saw the sky last night, then you will not be surprised why I have requested your presence. This will allow me to ensure we are all on the same page. Last night, a beam of flow erupted from somewhere in the vicinity of the Night Sky Temple. It appears that activated something across the island of Bihari. Reports are coming in from as far as Inirevan and Barafu about the lights. So, that's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see if these are future places that we'll get to go and explore, or if they're just kind of additional cities that we hear about but never actually get to see. I could definitely see one of these as they expand out the game. I could definitely see one of these being like a big capital kind of city, and then another one being like another smaller Kilima type village. We'll see. One thing all the agents agree on is that Kilima was the first. Whatever happened started here. It's not the first time ancient human space lasers are shown in the sky above Kilima. You didn't happen to solve any puzzles last night without telling us, right? Could it have been the intruder? Yes, I suspect so. According to the Gardener, the final Cosmos Protocol lockdown was forcibly disabled 10 minutes before the eruption. If you direct your attention slightly to the right, you may become aware of a door that was previously locked and is no longer. Yes, thank you, Hecla. While I made a brief scan for intruders, I was waiting for you to investigate further. Can I trust you to keep watch out here, Gina and Hecla? Of course. You may rely on me. If you need to rest your eyes, Gina, please inform me, and I shall watch twice as hard for the both of us. Alright, fine. I stayed up a little late last night because of all the excitement, but I don't need a nap. Gina, when you get older, you realize that naps are amazing. Everybody wants naps. Let's investigate this new space. I will meet you inside. Alright. And to the right, which would be down this way, I think. Yeah. See Subira on the map. Or on the compass. Looking for stuff that we can pick up along the way, or read to get more lore. Alright, Subira, what's the deal? Blocked. We'll need to find another way around. I've got a pickaxe. pickaxe. Yeah. Record number 2. Okay, where was record number 1? On the nature of Cosmoflow lecture transcript. There are a few things we know for sure about Cosmoflow, but in order to understand them, one must understand the nature of flow itself. I will attempt to explain here, but if any of you have questions, please visit my office afterwards for a more in-depth explanation. Can anyone explain what exactly pure flow is? It's a form of energy, right? Natural energy that comes from the flow realm. That's correct. There are 2 known realms, ours, the material realm, and the realm of flow. Interesting. Because it's on the side of mortals, flow comes from the side of Embra. Natural flow enters our realm through well springs. It is what we refer to as pure flow. What about elemental flow? As you all know, everything in our world contains small amounts of flow. As the energy integrates with the material world, it gains one of 4 elemental aspects: hydro, pyro, terra, and aeroflow. So recently we believe these to be the only possible fusions. It was discovered that through the careful transmutation of all 4 elements, a 5th fusion could be formed. That is Cosmoflow. When applied to other simpler forms of elemental flow, it catalyzes their effects to levels heretofore unseen. Another corner of the page is a letter in bright red, S. Okay. Experiments on Cosmoflow's catalyzing properties continues apace. TerraFlow seems the most resistant to extreme change, but Hydroflow accepts the application of Cosmoflow as easily as anything else. When formulated into an ingestible hydro potion, the standard rejuvenating qualities appear to be multiplied. I've tried some of this new Cosmo drink myself and was up half the night working on a new project before the effects wore off. You discovered coffee. There appears to be a few side effects of consuming the concoction. It tastes vaguely of citrus with a pleasant natural carbonation. So you discovered Sprite-flavored coffee that actually has a caffeine element to it. I think I may have discovered the key to immortality. Interesting. An injection into the dermal layer of Cosmoflow catalyzed Hydroflow provides more lasting effects of elevated energy, increased concentration, improved health, but applied in specific rune forms. It is hard to prove in such a short amount of time, but the aging of the subject, of me, appears to have stopped entirely. I mean, I wouldn't say no to... Well, maybe I might. Immortality could be a fun thing. More research needs to be done before I bring this to anyone else, even the other scientists at the lab. I was only able to apply the runes to a small area of skin, and I have not given enough time to record any possible side effects. If everything goes to plan, I'll bring it to Mudan soon, perhaps the next time he stops by for tea. Okay. The Minister of Flow visited our facility today. 1 second. Okay. Minister of Flow visited our facility today. She asked to meet me privately. Apparently there are some tensions at the southern border, and she wanted to inquire about various practical applications of Cosmoflow. She wants me to make weapons. No. Yeah, no, not everything needs to be turned into a weapon. Experiments on weaponizing Cosmoflow are proceeding as safely as they can without putting anyone at risk. Yeah. Okay. This way. Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, this is record number 5. I wish these visits from important people that changed the trajectory of my work would stop. It's been 2.5 centuries since this facility was founded, and yet the headaches refuse to abate. This time as Mudan, the man always has an air of somber gravitas around him in public, but we've been working together too long for that, which told me this was not a social call. The flow is running out. It's my fault Mudan didn't say that. In fact, he was insistent on shouldering all the blame, but we both know it's the Cosmo flow. Creating it requires a vast amount of raw flow and even more in the application. Don't know why it never occurred to me that flow could run out. That's why he came to ask my help in finding an alternate power source. He told me he believes one exists, that there's a third plane, and we only need to access it. The Cosmoflow could be the key to ripping across the veil and opening the tap. He calls it the Mirror Protocol. He's asked me to join him in reaching through the looking glass to the other side. Interesting. Sorry, all allergies are actually not even allergies, just nose in general. It's just trying to sneeze on me today, and it needs to make up its mind if it wants to or not. Just going to finish out the ad break here in about 10 seconds, and then we'll keep reading the records. All right. Record number 6. I always thought I would know the day the world ended. It turns out it happens in inches until salvation is too far to see on the horizon anymore. One by one, my colleagues leave the lab. They all say the same thing. We should have never crossed the veil. Probably. It's not that I disagree. It's just that if I accept it, it's too late. I'll turn into one of them. The hope will seep from me, and nothing will be able to plug the leak. So I hold tight to the thought that there's still something we can do, and I keep looking. The world is still fighting. The Empire of Valeria holds strong. Galder and Human repel the monsters everywhere, but they can barely touch the creatures from across the rift. So I'm working on a staff. It takes ambient flow and synthesizes it into Cosmoflow. I don't expect it to do much about the rifts, but perhaps it will be able to keep some of the creatures at bay. If we can fight back, we can still stop this. If it works, we'll make more. In honor of Mudan's love for ominously named projects, we're calling it the Cosmoflow Protocol. In order to keep random survivors from stumbling on this facility, it will be locked away. The other overseers have all agreed, and security measures installed. Funny thing, they didn't even know I existed before Vera made the introductions. I really hope I can finish this research in time. game's getting a little darker than I would have thought. Okay, we'll come back to that. Hey, unforgettable Electro DEGQ. So long, sucker. My mother used to tell me stories of the Phoenix, how she defeated the Abyss and brought light to the world, that during the battle in the Void she received a mortal wound and dragged the darkness with her. Her heart formed the sun, her eyes the moons, her feathers became blades of grass, and through her blood ran the rivers of the world. Finally, her soul came from humanity, and through our fervent prayer and love she was reborn again. Mother thought that, as her children, all of us were capable of the same rebirth, that even in our failures we could bring the light. Maybe I should have asked Mudan about it before he disappeared. He'd likely know the truth. I failed, humanity failed. We can't even lay claim to defeating the Abyss this time. I'm afraid it will swallow us all. But if it doesn't, if there is still hope in some distant future... if you're reading this and the sun still rises, people still laugh and cry and hurt and yell like they used to here, then maybe we do get another chance at this. Oh, wow. This is, like, dark. But hopeful. You know, hope is always good. I hope that my fervent prayer reaches you and you are reborn. I hope the world is brighter where you are, and that if the darkness threatens you like it did us, you fight harder, love stronger, and never lose hope. The password for the facility's administrative command is spread across these logs. Use it well or don't use it at all. Okay. So I should have been keeping track of what the letters and all that were. Oh, look, I'm sure I'll be able to... Somebody will have posted it somewhere by now. Okay. Loot. Ooh, we got gold. And we got another ancient treasure chest. Yeah, this is... The story for this is getting kind of deep. You have them. Thank you. Yeah, when I get ready for them, I will ask for them. Okay, now how did you get here so fast? Fascinating. There's nothing in the records about this place. Yeah, I think they hid it for a reason. Gina and I pored over everything we could discover about the temples. There are blueprints for the other four, and implications that the Night Sky Temple was intended to be nothing more than a repository retrofitted from the Human University. What was the Cosmos Protocol hiding, and why did the ancient humans want to keep it a secret even from their own people? Experience dictates we should not turn on the console, because that's just a good way to get everybody killed. Okay, console. Please enter password. Hint, I put the pieces of the password in the logbooks. I kept 7 in total. If you want what's kept past this flow wall, you better know exactly what you're asking for. Don't make our same mistakes. And thank you, Wim. Q. Yes. 7. Question mark. V %. J. Thank you. I appreciate it. Menu. Protocols. Mirror protocol. Mirror protocol status. Lunar connection engaged. Tap connection engaged. Check tap status. What happens if I turn off? Nope, can't do that. Okay. Yeah, okay. Menu. Messages. I know what you're doing, Oris. Progress on the research I requested is all but stalled. No more supplies will be approved for your projects until I see something change. Remember, this is for the security of Valeria. Either you're a patriot or you're a traitor. I know which side I would choose. Okay. This is getting a little too real. Okay. I'll delete your messages from my inbox. Sorry, just want to make sure you're fine and still, alive. We're locked up tight over here at the garden. Connection might drop at any moment. If it does, I'm coming to find you. Just be safe and keep trying to save the world, okay? Okay. I'm curious. Calculator. 365. 6790. Assuming they have a standard 365 day year. Oh, 10,000 years. Okay, so somebody engaged the mirror protocol last night. Yeah, so I need to go back and find one more logbook. Which I thought was strange that I missed one. And of course it was the first one, so I need to go all back. It says I can talk to Sabira, but... Go. All right. Yeah, now we'll go back and find Sabira and tell her what we found. Okay. Any updates? Here's what I found. These notes are quite concerning, and I must admit a little fascinating. The Order's records don't have anything of this depth about the end of humanity. I will take them for the moment to go over in my own time. For now, we need to address the information you found on the console. Based on everything, it is reasonable to deduce that the Cosmos Protocol was involved in locking this place away and restricting access to the staff. The Mirror Protocol, meanwhile, is connected to the light show last night and the beam that we clearly see emitting from that orb. Were there any mentions of other temples or other possible locations? It said the Elderwood tap was active. Tap, but to what? Allow me to drop the professionalism for a moment and address you candidly. Okay. Although she's kind of got that resting bee face right there. It's like she's sucking on a lemon. The mission we undertook together was investigating the other temple. Investigating the other temples was dangerous, but you were already involved when I asked for your assistance. This, however, is not your responsibility to take on. You have done more than enough already in assisting me. If you choose to end your involvement with all this now, I would understand completely. I don't have much of a choice. There is always a choice, but it is true that if you do not assist me, my chances of success drop quite a bit. I've made do with worse odds before, but I admit I would prefer your help. Well, that's sweet. Just know that from here on out, there will be very few chances to change your mind. I need to inform my superiors from the Order and loop Eshe in on everything that's happened. Which means I need you to scout ahead in the Elderwood. Keep your senses sharp. We know very little about the situation in the forest, and it is better to be overly cautious than reckless. If you find yourself in any true danger, I will know, and I will find you. Ooh. That almost sounds like a threat. I should be just behind you anyways. I can't imagine this should take too long. Allow me to escort you to the exit before we part ways. Alright. Come talk to Shane. And definitely gonna clean out my bags before I go. The beaks. Hello, Flow Tree. Definitely too big to get by myself. Yeah, I don't think I need Flowwood right now anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go.
Beautiful day, is it not?
Glad you're here. I could use a break. From what? It's a bit of a long story. I agreed to the Game Master for a Magic and Machi campaign with some of the inn regulars, Zeki, Rethashore, and Sifu. Unfortunately, I can't get my players to agree on what sort of game we should play. Sifu wants to do a combat-heavy action campaign, and Ashura wants something more peaceful and role-playing heavy. Now it's up to me to decide who to disappoint. That is a tough call.
May the dragon be with you.
I'm done with you.
Maji's blessings.
So I'm gonna go with Seafood needs to compromise. Yeah. Promised I'd prepare my family's secret recipe for veggie chili for the game, but I still have so much prep work to do. I don't have time to go to the Elderwoods to get batterfly beans. When you have the beans, just bring them to Zeki. We're hosting the game at the Underground, so I'll make the chili at the kitchen there. Chat with you while you're here. Clear your mind of all distractions, and you can almost hear Maji the Dragon's voice in the silence.
If you need help, all you have to do is ask.
Okay. I'm so whim I did end up finding a, basically a knockoff recipe for the spicy, for the sweet and spicy prawns. So definitely we'll look at doing that at some point. Alright, what's in the bag? Autumn the bonsai pod. And what's in the stickers? Cat's meow. I did end up finding a knockoff recipe for the sweet and spicy pecans. Pecans. For the nuts. Yeah, so I bookmarked that and we'll make those at some point. Takes an egg white, so I'm gonna wait for egg prices to come down a little bit more still. But it makes a lot, like yeah, 3.5 cups of raw pecan halves. I know we have eggs. I was mostly just making a joke about eggs being stupid expensive. Oh. hate to say it, but I think I am done with this lemonade. It's good. It's just, it's way more tart than I am feeling right now. Thankfully, I also have a nice glass of tea here. I need to... Give me just 1 second. Okay. Can't pick up the essence right now.
Oh, hey, just a sec.
Nio,
What's up?
what are you doing here? Looking for ancient human space lasers. I'm on a mission for Subira. Well, that's cool. I mean, I don't want to get in your way or anything. Good. But maybe you've got time for a second mission? It's kind of a long story, but I might need your help too. So I usually handle repairs for the stables in the area around Killiman. I mostly focus on Bahari in the village, but lately I've been trying to fix up the one in the Elderwood too. Not a lot of people head out this way, but I thought it might be a good project to handle in my spare time. The problem is, the Elderwood looks a little bit different from the last time I was here. It's never been super cheerful, but the goop floating in the air is new. I'm not a scaredy cat, but the vibes are off, and I've told Ani enough campfire stories to know you don't go wandering into dark woods alone. Yes, very true. But now that you're here, maybe we can be each other's backup. I was heading to the stables. As long as we're careful.
Oh.
Of course, here, I'll even go first just in case. Just keep an eye out and meet me at the stables. Chat with you while you're here. Good to see you around the farm again. If you ever need gardening or workout tips, I'm your guy. Okay. I can already feel myself swirling in this new zone. Okay. Grumpy Granite Rockhopper. I have no idea what I need to be collecting, so we're just going to grab everything. Okay. Infected essence. Ooh, helium. I think part of the problem is, like I said, I had started to do a little bit of exploring in here last night. But part of the problem is it was just dark, because it was nighttime. And being my first exposure to the zone, I had no idea what I was doing, what I was looking for, if anything. No idea where to go, what to do, where the people were. Let's see. Am I using flares? Okay. I feel like this is not going to work. Ammo for that. As you enter the cave leading toward the Elderwood stables, you feel a heavy weight settling on your shoulders. The shadows that fill the space seem almost alive, clinging to your limbs like an unwelcome guest as you move. At every step you feel a growing sense of wrongness. You are not wanted here. Take a deep breath and then another, slowly feeling lessens, and the next step you take is easier. Perhaps it was all in your head. Not likely. Something weird is definitely, something foul is definitely afoot.
Oh, can I help you?
Patch made it in one piece. Me too.
Huh? Oh. Huh. What? Oh. I'm always here to help.
The central stables. Okay, trading space for the artifacts. Good, more collecting stuff. Yeah, hopefully this space gets easier to navigate. See, no sign of lost board. Yeah. 175 meters east away. Canadian. Ooh, I found an amethyst. Overclan mushroom. Crate, an undelivered package. Okay, curious what that is. Like, I'm sure we'll get to it, but still, like... Oh, hi. This sons of bitches cleared out my emote wheel. That's the only one I ever need for you anyway. Citrine, can I transfer that to Dreamlight Valley? Because I think I'm on a quest that needs some of those. Alright, so it looks like there's some sort of a quest over here to my left. Hopefully that may also be the fast travel point location. There's a bee's nest. All right. Come on, hiccups. Go this way. Let's try. Oops. Hey, don't go into the swirly water. Department of Logistics and Administration of the Army of the Palean Republic. Amari. Why does that name sound familiar? Is Omari a Shura's kid? Still have at least 40 minutes left on stream. I need to wake my butt up and I need to get back in the zone. Back in the circle for stuff that I'm looking for. At least the hiccups stop. Phew. Not the yawning, though. Okay. Okay. So now I have a quest to pick up the, I believe, the ooze things. There. Docks here are kind of cool.
Great day
Worth
for a
50
run.
gold.
Oh. What? Huh. Oh. Oh. Welcome to the village. Nice.
Thought Bodger was the pun maker around here. How we can stable eyes travel in the Elderwood. Come on.
Huh. Huh? Huh?
Hey, it was Nio. It was not me this time.
Nice.
What's it this time? Pine cone, a tall tree, a rocky cliff, and a
What?
lake. Okay. We're gonna focus on that. Well, okay. Anyway, I need to wake up. You know anything about this artifact? From my understanding, this area has been unoccupied since the Umbran War. The Order has no jurisdiction here, as we are technically in Umbran territories, and I cannot help you in this matter. Ask the librarian in Kilima. Okay. Okay, apparently I collected enough samples to knock out that quest immediately. That's always nice to do, to be able to do that. So an ad break is about to start. I'm going to take that as a quick opportunity to use the restroom. I will be back, and then we'll keep on going. All right, we back. Yeah. Exclamation point directly above my head. see that there is platforms. It's definitely one interesting thing they did this time around is having the Lynn's Pokemaster. Welcome in. I am enjoying the update. I'm not very far into it. I've only really kind of started with the questing and working on that. You know, I'm working on finding the staple locations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so far it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool exploration to do. The zone is absolutely beautiful. So now I need to be able to start collecting stuff. And, but yeah, it's a lot of fun so far. So there's an exclamation point here. So I should have, there we go. Okay. What else? We've got Subira over here. Had a tiny peek the other night in the area. It's so pretty. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the zone is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, I did the same. I kind of popped my head in last night for a couple minutes. It's a little bit tough, but to find your way around at night, just because it is very dark, and even during the day you can see that it's on the darker side, but it's absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to getting to it, and there's a lot of exploration to do, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Nope, I have to go the other way here. Nope, can't gather that yet. Did not expect her to insert herself into our business so brazenly. It is rare but not unheard of for suspects to reappear at the scene of the crime, but to directly offer assistance? We don't have much choice. There's always a choice, but not if we want to progress in a reasonable time frame. I would need to ask the order to send an alchemist into the field here. The process can take weeks, months, sometimes with the amount of paperwork required to deploy an alchemist. Much to gain, little to lose from accepting her offer. Being stubborn will only harm us. Yes. Let's return to the stable and inform her of our decision. So how long have you been playing Paleo, Lens? Are you a newer player, or you've been playing for a long time?
Venturing out here?
Have a lovely little chat without me? Yes. No, don't be coy. If you want something from me, you'll need to be direct. We've decided to accept your help. You will be if you do me this. Be my favorite human if you do me this little favor. It's not a dog in need of praise. Thank you, Subira. Jeez. Although I do a lot of fetching. Oh dear, and I prepared treats. She really is. But depending on the kind of treats, like if they're peanut butter, I'm in. I can't help it. I have specific things that I enjoy, and peanut butter is one of them. Actually, last week Wim had picked up a couple of packs of the peanut butter and strawberry jelly. Played it since it first dropped and took a huge break from it. Now I'm ready to dive back in. Well, now is definitely a good time to do it. You know, you can go into the wood at any point. You're a little bit limited in what you can do without doing the quests, but there's plenty to do. even without that, there's, you know, materials that you can gather and stuff like that. But the quests open up the ability to get more stuff, so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. In the patch notes, I know there's a list of kind of things that you should do to be able to start those quests. Thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. Yeah, there's a list of quests that you should have completed before to be able to start the Elderwood stuff, but it's pretty simple. Yeah, I thank you for asking and reminding me that romancing is a thing, Hannah. It's one that I don't really think a whole lot about, but yeah, I know it's kind of a big part of the game, so it's definitely a good question. Is there anybody specific that you are romancing, Linz? Who do you like? I've made some enchanted gloves that should allow you to collect the essence without coming to too much harm. See, it's the too much part. Oh boy, another Jelf. Oh no, that's Hannah. Read the name. Silly. Yeah, Hannah is definitely our Jelf fan around here. Personally, I'm a Kenyatta person. I know she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I am a fan. I think the other one that I kind of unintentionally ended up romancing right now is Tish. If you're putting Amadis in the line of danger for your games, Tamala, oh, relax. Unless you ingest the raw essence, you'll be perfectly fine. I wouldn't take a bath on this stuff either. Yeah, I don't typically take a bath in essence of anything. I will continue to monitor the missing child's flow signature, but I think it would be best if I stay at the stables while our guest is present. Can't decide between Hassian and Kenyatta and back and forth. Yeah, Hassian definitely has that kind of brooding, yeah, I'm so angry at the world, but I'm so handsome look. And then, yeah, Kenyatta just, you know, it's the strong, independent vibe. Like, I don't need you, but I enjoy your company. Oh, how wonderful. I'm sure we'll become just the best of friends. This would be an interesting, you know, interaction to just sit and watch these two just sniping at each other. I've ordered a song or two of theirs in the past, of course, but I prefer when my ingredients are delivered by someone as adorable as you. Aw, she thinks I'm adorable. And yeah, you can tell that I don't interact with Tamala very much just because I don't... Since she's always in Bahari, she's out of the way, and I'm just not interested in going out there just for that. You are a needy little thing, aren't you? And you're rude. Staircase pixies can be found living underneath staircase mushrooms. For the toadstool floatfish, perhaps try fishing in the lakes without any bait. As for the elderwood orchids, they're scattered all across the forest floor. Which I think I have some of all of those. This morning was going so much better while I was still getting my beauty rest. Yeah, you could use it. Although it doesn't do anything for your personality.
Your novelty has worn off.
Okay. Austin also has that pupper, so that sells me. Yeah, Tau is definitely a big draw. All right, so let's go this way. Special ammo. Okay. Hey, that makes you unlock the recipe for elderwood mush planter. I don't have the required ingredients for that. I know some people like Delilah too, because she's kind of got that mom vibe going on, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That was bluegill. Oh, and a starred one off the bat. Nice. So long, frog boy. That's so real. Yeah, absolutely. You know, dogs are cute. Dogs are the best. We have 2 cats, and I love our cats dearly, but I certainly would not hate having a dog again. Alien Beta, also star quality. Nice. Don't you belch your infection at me. Where'd you go? I mean, I didn't point it out to you, but we passed a sign earlier that said black lab puppies. But we don't need a dog right now. We're about to go out of town on a trip, and the last thing we need is a puppy. Yeah, no. Definitely not before we go on our trip. So what I'm hearing is Hannah's going to come out and take care of this dog while we're on our trip. I should have known that was going to be the response to that statement. I feel like the biggest thing there is making sure that mini mullet, also star quality. All right. I feel like the biggest thing with getting a lab is just making sure that you are managing their weight and stuff like that. Because I feel like most of the labs that I've ever seen, and it's fine. Like, you know, you have to be careful because the last thing you want to do is let it turn into some overweight, just really unhealthy pet. Like, not that I have a whole lot of room to judge on that front, but at least a little bit. You want to make sure that you're taking care of it and you know, keeping it mostly healthy. You know, we had a friend who had,
Good to see you.
I think he was a lab. But yeah, he was so big, and it's like, felt bad. He just had a hard time. And he was a little bit older whenever we met him too, but it was like,
Yeah, where
you know,
did I
he was
put
a little
my
bit older, a
hammer?
little bit bigger, and just had a hard time getting around. Like, you gotta keep your pets healthy. Make sure they live nice, long lives. Better angle on that. A special lure to fish here. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the last dog that Wim, our moderator here, is actually my wife. The last dog that we had was super good boy. He was part Australian cattle dog and part corgi, and he unfortunately got the corgi back legs and hips, and that was kind of his down. Ooh, Stark-billed pixie. That was kind of his downfall. His back joints just started having real bad issues, and so we just had to let him go on that. It was too bad, but he was a good boy. We were playing a lot of World of Warcraft at the time that we had him, and so yeah, corgis are amazing. We were playing World of Warcraft at the time, and he would come in occasionally. Like, I'd get up to take a quick break to go, to the bathroom during our break or whatever. And I would stick and jump in my chair like he was gonna heal the raid. Like, dude. Department of Logistics and Administration of the Army of the Palean Republic. Well, corgis always make me laugh too, because it's like, if you cross a corgi with anything, inevitably it ends up looking like a corgi-sized version of whatever the other breed is. Alright, so then we've got 2 more of those to unlock. Huskies they're always ending up so stumpy. Yeah. Husky is another one that I would like to have, but the problem with them is they have so much fur, and I'm allergic to everything. But yeah, Husky Corgi mixes are just hilarious. Now that we don't have the dog, we have 2 cats that are actually brothers that a rescue had picked up in our area, and Wim found them online. And they're so funny. They look very similar, like they both have stripes and stuff like that, but one is gray tone and the other one is I say he's orange because he acts like orange cats with the complete lack of brain occasionally, but he's more blonde, but they're both very cute. They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Named after 2 characters from my favorite movie series, Star Wars. Because I'm funny. And Wim agreed with it, so she likes it too. Yeah. Yeah, I love Star Wars. I know everybody has opinions, and that's totally okay, because if everybody liked everything, the world would be an extremely boring place if everybody had the same opinion. But I, pretty much without question, I have loved every Star Wars product that they've come out with, because it's all different in tones. Different tones, different presentations of stuff. But more Star Wars, it's hard to complain about more Star Wars. And really, one of the games that I play with friends offline is Fortnite, and it's been a little frustrating, but I've really been enjoying the Star Wars season that they have in there with all this fun skins and things like that. It's fun to watch Padme duke it out with Peter Griffin with an assault rifle or blaster. I was actually scrolling through YouTube, just one of those random deep dives that you play a lot of Fortnite and definitely love the season and the shop. Yeah, they've done a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of cool collaborations, and the skins that they've put out have been fantastic. Like, I haven't enjoyed every single one, but for the most part, they've been really good skins. I haven't purchased all of them because my wallet can't take that much, but the ones that I have gotten have been really good. And then the flying the fighters has been a lot of fun. They're really difficult to fly, but yeah, have fun with it. But I was cruising YouTube the other night, and one of the things that popped up for me was the scene from her. I actually saw it on TikTok and on YouTube, so it was super funny that it just happened to coincide like that. But it was the scene from Obi-Wan where he's telling, in the finale where he's telling Leia, I can't even talk about it without tearing up a little bit. The scene where Obi-Wan is talking to Leia about the qualities that she got from Padme and Anakin. I'm just like, because then on the YouTube version, somebody overlaid it with the Force theme from the original movies. It's like, oh my God, make this scene more powerful, please. Yeah, they definitely know. And the music, like, the writing, especially in the more recent series, have been fantastic. Like, everybody involved in that creative process has been amazing. And then you throw in the music and it just adds a whole other level of impact. And it's incredible. Toadstool floatfish. So what's your favorite spot to drop in Fortnite? We're big fans of the sort of Foxy Floodgates, the dam. Just because whenever we're playing with our squad, they have that big tanker up on the top that's full shields for everybody, and it's always super nice. And then there's so much loot both at the top of the dam and in that power plant at the bottom. We're like, let's try and go to Foxy if we can. And sometimes it can be hit or miss depending on where the bus flies over as to how many people we run into there, but we usually do pretty okay. We had one game last night, we tried landing at Vader's Solitude down in the corner and just got absolutely destroyed. But it was fun. I think our squad came in like 24th place or something. sometimes that's just how it goes. You can't win them all. Magic Moss is avoiding all the hot drops right now, especially Vader. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I'm glad that they, you know, last season chapter, whichever one is the last season was a lot of fun with the black markets and all that kind of stuff. But I'm glad that they've pulled back. Like, the blasters are super powerful, but I'm glad that they've pulled back on that a little bit, because that's having all of the exotics and the mythic weapons and the black markets and all that kind of stuff was a little bit nutty with how much access we had to super powerful weapons. Like, guys, pull back a little bit, please. But the blasters are almost as bad with the amount of, you know, there's no drop on them. There's effectively no range on them. So that gets a little bit crazy too. But yeah, we typically try to avoid all the hot drops. Like, we'll look at where the bus is flying over on the map and like, okay, what's kind of along this path, but not really. But we always have a lot of fun with it. We have a couple of people that kind of, we have a larger than 4-person group that we usually try to play with. So we have to make sure we rotate people in and out, and that's always fun, because when you get a break, stupid ad break. Continue our reading conversation on Fortnite. Something we need to look at, getting some more of the, fishing enhancement stuff so I can... Oh, Hannah, thank you so much for that sub to Lynn's Pokemaster. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I actually was not playing during the car season. It's I think at this point, if we start playing, I want to say it was like November, December. Relatively recently in the grand scheme of things. The time that we have been playing has been super fun. I'm looking forward to continuing to explore. And it's fun that they keep kind of refreshing the map and keeping it up to date like that. Because it's nice to break up the meta. Like you see other combat games and it just gets so stagnant. Ancient Boy. Nice. Yeah, other games get so stagnant and, you know, everybody gets so locked into, oh, well, this is the meta, so this is the way that you have to play it. It's like, try something different, change it up a little bit. You don't have to play the same 3 characters all the time. This Hannah Chan. Just 1 second. Also, I forgot, or I almost forgot. Hannah, as the gifter of the sub, you get to pick. Am I doing sour smog balls? One of those. Nasty Bean Boozled. Sour jelly beans. I've got all of the sour stuff. I still have those tahini watermelon sour bites. I've got gummy worms. I've got sour strips around here somewhere. Pick a sour candy, and I will enjoy that. Enjoy. I like sour stuff, so it's not a big deal. The first bag, so the smog balls. Okay. So these ones are interesting. We found these at Five Below, and we picked them up. And these are the ones that I had tried one, and it was probably one of the worst things that I have ever tasted in my entire life. The outside isn't so bad, but the inside is just like, oh. Wynn tried one. It was like, she was perfectly fine. But then she tried another one like the next day or the day after, something like that, and she found what I had on the first day. They were terrible. So they seem to be a little bit inconsistent on how sour they actually are. I checked the bag and it didn't say anything about like, oh, it's supposed to be a surprise how sour they are or anything like that. But so we'll see how this one goes. So we have a blue one. They're all the same flavor as far as I know, just different colors. So we'll see how this goes. The outside, like I said, is candy, so it's not so bad. It's whenever I get to the middle, it's the worst part. Thanks. Oh, we'll take a few minutes on that. So let me. Let's see if I can find a picture. Yeah, it's from the Toxic Waste people. So it is these right here, sour smog balls. It has the evil little guy on it. It's the same guys that do the Toxic Waste sour candies. The outside is perfectly fine. Like it's good candy right now. I'm trying to kind of get through. It's almost like a Jawbreaker where it's got that hard outside, and then you get to the inside and it's not as hard. So working through it. It's not bad at the moment. In about 30 seconds, though, it'll probably if it's like the others, it's going to get real gross real fast. Okay, nice little open cave spot here. Wonder if this is going to be a quest later or something like that. Sour Patch Kids are definitely good candy. I highly recommend grabbing Sour Patch Kids. Here we go. There it is. Oh. Oh. Okay. So the nice thing is that once you get to the sour part, it dissolves pretty quickly. It goes away. Oh, that 10 seconds there, though, is just, oh. Well, the other interesting thing about it, too, is that, so I have I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I have a medical issue in my nose that just creates a lot of blockages. And I can't accurately, when I'm experiencing this issue, I can't accurately taste anything. I've been on a medication that helps a ton. And it, reduces the inflammation, the blocking, and things like that happen. So, as long as I'm on it consistently, it's fine. And my taste mostly goes back to normal and things like that. But I spend so long without the ability to taste, normal things or things normally. So whenever I can taste things, everything is just super powerful to me because I haven't been able to taste it for so long. So it's like things that would be normal for, somebody else, like, say those candies, for most people, it probably wouldn't be that bad. But for me, who is more prone to tasting things very strongly right now, that's like a punch in the face. Okay. So I need to go 55 meters in that direction and down. I'm in the area right now. Several arrows, a hunter's horn, and what looks like an old copper tea kettle. So, the interesting thing, though, is that like I said, I do like sour candy, so, I put on the face and all that, but it's not so bad. Like, I like it. It's just, I like that pucker factor, that, face melting factor. So it's like part of me is like, I could go for another one of those. Yeah, I just... back down a little bit. But yeah, I really enjoy sour candy, though, in general. Sour Patch Kids, sour gummy worms, like, we played tabletop every week with a group of friends of ours, and on the way we stopped and pick up drinks and, you know, snacks and things like that. And more often than not, I end up with at least one bag of sour gummy worms or something like that. Usually either sour gummy worms, the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms, or just the peanut butter M&Ms if I can't find the peanut butter and jelly. Reese's Sticks, Reese's Cups, all that good stuff. Okay, so at this point, what am I doing? I need to find out whose package I have. I need to find Batterfly beans, which I have only seen one of so far. I know they're around here somewhere. Yeah, they're very good. It's like a mixed berry, I believe. You know, it's a super thin layer, and it's kind of like a mixed berry jelly. So it's not like you're getting, you know, specifically strawberry or whatever, which, I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and strawberry jelly is the superior jelly. But yeah, it's not a specific jelly flavor on those. Now, the peanut butter and jelly M&M's Reese's that they came out with, those you can get either strawberry or grape. And we picked up some of the peanut butter and strawberry jelly ones last week at the grocery store. And of course, as soon as we got home, a couple of packages went straight into the freezer to see how they go, because frozen candy is just amazing. That's not what I want. I want quests, main story. I want to track that one. Frozen candy is top tier. Absolutely. Let's see. Brings you another whalebone. Butterfly beans. Package. Bees. Okay. So let's focus on the main story stuff for right now. Unpin those. Pin those. I was freezing my candy bars ever since I was little. Yes, that is an amazing way to do things. I know Snickers actually reached a point where favorite candy of all time, I would have to go with pretty much anything Reese's. I prefer, I think, the seasonal ones, because I'm a bigger fan of the peanut butter aspect than I am the chocolate part. So like the Reese's Eggs, the Reese's Trees, the pumpkins at Halloween, all the seasonal ones, just because it's a higher peanut butter to chocolate ratio. But if you put a Reese's in front of me, I'm not going to say no. The sticks are also amazing. They're basically Kit Kats, but it's peanut butter instead of, you know, whatever they're putting in the middle of theirs. I think it's just more chocolate. So yeah, definitely Reese's. But sour gummy worms are definitely a close second. They have to be the sour ones, though, not the regular, you know, just pure sugar gummy worms. How about you? You have a favorite? I know we talked about you were getting your Sour Patch Kids, but let's see. So I'm in the cavern. I probably want to try and stay in here because I need a cave pixie. Sticker pack. And actually, along with favorite candy, since I see that your name is Master, I will ask what your favorite Pokemon is as well. Personally, I haven't really seriously played Pokemon since the first generation. So I'm curious, what do I need to be looking at? A Granbar and Twizzlers, but it's a hard choice. Okay, I'm definitely with you on the 100 Granbar. I'm not a big licorice fan. You know, and I know Twizzlers are different from the traditional like Red Vines licorice, but not a huge fan of those either. But I can stand by the 100 Granbar choice. And then on the Pokemon question, I would say I'm a classic starter guy, and I would say either Squirtle, because he eventually turns into Wartortle, because I like turtles, or Charmander, because fire is nice. Fire is warm. If I had a Charmander, I would constantly be lighting campfires to sit and hang out. Cubone, okay, that's definitely a solid choice. Especially when they introduced him in the anime, like he's just so cute and so cuddly in there. Also starting first gen Squirtle Squad, yes. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Pikachu, but I never fully bought into the Pikachu hype. Like even when they basically reintroduced the Gen 1 stuff for the Switch with the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, even then I bought Let's Go Eevee. Both because I found the Eevee a little more appealing, and because you have more options to evolve them. Yeah, the Squirtle Squad was definitely a very cute addition to that. Don't run away from me, frog. Oh boy, we are out of space. All right. Okay. Really need to head back now. So, you know what? Tall trees and rocky cliff statements. So I have a feeling Tall Trees is going to be over here somewhere. So one of the things that we have to do in this expansion is you actually have to find the location of the quick travel stables. Yeah, Tall Trees is probably over here. But that also unlocks a stable board for your plot. Or it unlocks the ability for you to build a stable at your plot. Or a stable sign. So kind of working on that too. So I need to find the Tall Tree stables and the Rocky Cliff stables. Actually, probably Deep Woods. I would assume the is going to be the Tall Tree stable, which wouldn't surprise me if it's like here. Actually, you know, I need to not be worrying about trying to catch that stuff right now because it's not going to do me any good because my bags are full. And yep, saw the spot for that one. Okay. So the other one is definitely going to be over in this area. Like I thought with that one, it's probably over here now that I'm actually seeing some stables, Demare Dock. Yeah, we're gonna go that way. I definitely want to make sure I accomplish something before I go back to my housing plot. I've gotten quite a bit done, you know, I've gotten some of the questing done. But it would be especially nice to be able to have the fast travel accessible. I don't always use fast travel in games, which I need to get better about. Like, it's convenient to use it. Yep, right there. Okay. Turn Nio. He is at the Central Stables in Elderwood. I believe he should offer... Alright. So apparently it sounds like I might need to go back to him and kill him. want to sell anything yet, just because you never know what you're gonna need, and I should have plenty of space. Hunter's horn. Copper teapot. Yeah, I'm hesitant to sell anything at the moment. Okay, and then what sticker? So, Linz, I don't know if you'd said you hadn't played in a while, so I don't know if you know, but they have added, so along with the plushie collection, which is you can get off the bugs and things like that, they also added a sticker collection that is kind of fun. They're, as far as I know, they just work similarly to emotes, and you just can use them to kind of communicate a little bit with people. But this one cracks me up. It's Kenyatta saying, "What a drag." They're just kind of funny, but these are also tradable, so. And they kind of randomly pop up through the world as you're doing stuff. But some of the attitudes that they convey through those stickers are a lot of fun. Yeah, they're really cute. They did a good job with those. Okay, so I need to keep the floatfish and the orchid with me. Floatfish. Just one, though. And then 3 of the orchids. Put those there, put those there, put that there. I had a spot with a question mark on my compass that looked like it was in my house. So I'm wondering if there should be somebody there that just is waiting for me to pop out and back in. When I get out here, I'm going to check the map for Nio, see if he's here. Okay, yeah. So there's people out here that I need to talk to. We'll start with Kaleri. She's the closest physically. She's sleeping. She's sleeping. Wake up.
Knowledge is for those who seek it.
Found this on the Elderwood. Artifact from the Elderwood. Let me see that. Appears to be genuine. Things this could tell us about the area. Most of the records of that outpost have been lost to time and conflict. If you found one, I'll imagine there are more. This warrants a visit to the Elderwood myself. Meet me there and bring that artifact with you. Okay. So got that one done. Okay, so that was an either-or gift. Because now I don't see Eloisa on my map. So she probably went with her sister. We're going to go wake up Nio. So that I can get my travel board. I may think about wrapping it up here pretty soon.
Need some heavy lifting? Ah. Oh.
Okay. Did it again. I keep clicking the wrong buttons. So, Lynn's the other game that I'm playing on stream right now is Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is another kind of cozy game like similar to this, just heavily Disney oriented. And the control schemes are very similar. You know, similar buttons do, but they do different things in each game. Sorry. And then I keep misclicking and thinking that I'm talking in, or, you know, hitting a keyboard hotkey for Paleo when I'm actually hitting the one for Dreamlight Valley. So it's interesting. Okay, so I need 20 ancient wood planks, which I think I have. And then I need to go to the central stables. And housing plot is there. Cozy woven basket recipe. I've been thinking about picking up Disney Dreamlight again. I love cozy games so much. Yeah, for a long time, I was not, you know, not into cozy games and things like that. You know, I played a lot of World of Warcraft, a lot of Grand Theft Auto, things like that. And I still, you know, less so in World of Warcraft now, but I still do those just off stream. But I have, my tastes in games have changed a lot recently. I've more so been playing Dreamlight Valley just because the appeal of all those wonderful Disney characters and, you know, interacting with them. They did a great job on the characterization of so many of them. So I've been playing a lot of that, but I you know, I dabble in Pele here and there, and, you know, Wim, my wife, also plays a lot of Palea, and just the community of people that I've been hanging out with on Twitch is very Palea oriented, and being able to interact with those people has increased my enjoyment of games like Palea a lot too, and also Dreamlight Valley. And so my tastes have definitely shifted, you know, and like I said, I still will do the occasional game. Like I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 earlier this week and all that, but it's nice to be able to just sit and relax and not have to worry about the BS. Okay, so I need to find ancient wood. And then with Dreamlight Valley, you know, Palea is free to play, so that's nice. And then with Dreamlight Valley, I actually have a Game Pass subscription, so the base game of Dreamlight Valley is free on Game Pass. I have not, you still have to purchase the expansions, which I have not done yet, just because I restarted my account a couple of weeks ago, and there's so much to do. Like, I looked last night, and I've unlocked quite a few characters. I don't even know how many I've actually unlocked, but, you know, I still have like 6 or 7 doors in the main castle to unlock, and all the characters associated with that. But I'm completely quest locked right now. Like, I need to go through and focus on my relationships and grind on those for a bit. But it's been so much fun to just play those games and not have to worry about the conflict and, you know, am I going to get, you know, smoked by another person who's also playing or whatever, and not having to worry about the combat and all that. Like, just enjoy the game. Last time you got it was during the Lion King stuff. Okay, yeah, so there's been a lot of changes and additions since then. Because I think that was right around when I stopped playing as well. And then, like I said, I'd restarted, and so I'm still, at this point, I've unlocked, you know, you start with the plaza, and I would have to images, map. Yeah, so at this point I still need to unlock the Forgotten Lands, which I'm almost ready to do. I think I need another like 5,000 Dreamlight or something like that. But yeah, so I've unlocked the second half of all of the, you know, most of the map. Still have the second half of Sunlit Plateau, which requires either a pickaxe or a shovel upgrade, or maybe a watering can. And then I still need to unlock Forgotten Lands, which, like I said, I think is another 5,000 Dreamlight for me to do. But I'll probably get that later today. But it's been such an enjoyable experience.
Caught any cryptids lately?
Oh, I heard about the artifact you brought to Calarian. Couldn't miss out. Not when you found a piece of the lost Nocturne Vault. Nocturne Vault? What's that? So I definitely did, just because I was in a similar situation. It had been so long since I played. I would have logged in, and, you know, I make the joke like I've been like Gandalf in the mines, like I have no memory of this place. Because I did log in for a couple of minutes before I reset, and that's exactly what happened. I looked around, and I was like, I have no clue what I was doing. So I think the only reason I would say maybe don't do that is just because when I did log in, they had added, when the game first came out, it was kind of streamlined, and it was like, okay, you need to do these quests and then these quests and then these, and it was just a very kind of obvious progression. Now it's a little more open, just with all the content that they have added. Like and it's hard to tell, like, what do I need to do in what order, because the other thing was, whenever you initially started, I need to do this, otherwise she's gonna walk away. All right, let me get through this.
The truth is out there.
When you log in, before it was a natural progression with the number of like night shards and things like that you needed to be able to get to other stuff. So it was like, okay, I'm not quite ready for this, maybe I should move to this. And, you know, there was that straight line of progression. Now you get in, and there's not really any kind of like guide rails like that. So you get in and you're like, okay. And I, I had a quest, like, I had just restarted, and because of the way that the questing is, it was like, I am not immediately, but fairly quickly, I already had completed a quest that was like, oh, you need 20,000 gold to unlock Daisy's house. Like, at the start of the game, it is hard to make 20,000 star coins because you don't have your pickaxe. You can only mine in certain areas, so the number of gems that you're getting and stuff like that is hard. In the end, it was worth it because I was able to like sort it all out, and having that fresh start allowed me to kind of think through things a little bit better. But it was also still a little bit of a jarring experience. Like the starting experience in that game could still use some work, or could use some work again now that they've opened up so many other things to do. But either way, I think you'll definitely be happy. There's a lot of content and there's a lot of stuff to do in that game. And that's even before you buy the expansions that add extra islands and stuff like that. So it's definitely at least worth a
You are
look.
not going.
Excuse me. Okay. Alright. So these two have set up donation bins for artifacts, which are around here somewhere. Right here. You're very welcome. Yeah, I have learned from people that have gone before me. And I definitely enjoy reading the subreddit for the game, just because there's a lot of good tips in there as well, like just things that you may not necessarily think about, that just make it a lot easier to play the game and things like that. So if you do decide to restart, feel free to come on back and we can chat about it, and I can tell you at least what I think, which is questionable advice at best some days, but it'll always be fun advice. Okay. Okay. No, I need to stop that. So I need a cave pixie. I need ancient wood planks. Alright, so cave pixie is probably going to be either the Lilac Cavern or the Red Blossom Cave. I'm going to go to the Red Blossom Cave first. I already missed my exit. No, don't climb. All right. I think we're gonna go ahead and knock this out and call it for the day because I'm dragging. Find a convenient spot to nap in the house. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and call it here. Like I said, just feeling a little bit sleepy, so I'm going to relax for a little bit. You know, and we are going to go over and hang out with Kim for the day, who is a wonderful streamer. She is one of the kindest people that you will ever interact with. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out and chit-chatting with us. Hope to see you around again. Drop the raid messages here. Oh. Did I? Yeah, there it is. Okay. But yeah, so we're gonna go say hi to Kim. Like I said, she's a wonderful person. She's incredible. So I have no doubt that she will welcome you in warmly and just have a very enjoyable time in there. So thank you again for coming and hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you have a great week. And I hope you enjoy Palia, Dreamlight Valley, wherever your gaming takes you. So, have a great day. Kim for the day.